Hello and welcome to Warfighter War. Ever since I got into Danverson games, I've been curious about the Warfighter series, and so when I saw that they came out with this new strategic level game, I decided to pick it up and give it a go. So I've decided just to pick a small mission to play first of all, and so I guess I'll go through my armies first. So I picked one player army, the 129th Infantry Brigade, because I think it has some pretty good stats. It just has, typical infantry attacks, but I don't know. I think they're decent enough. They do have the first keyword, so they will be going first in all of the turns, acting first. And I think with 4 supplies, they have enough, and they can give those out to other armies, or trade them, I guess the term would be. I did decide to give them the experience skills, so they start with 4 experience, and the attack skills, I'll give them a little bit buff to their attacks, and they can use that experience to upgun it to get a better bonus. And I decided to put an engineer company onto it, just so if we need some engineering, they can handle it. And then I wanted some heavier firepower, so I took the 91st Anti-Tank Regiment. It was fairly cheap, but I think it's pretty good. It has 3 actions, so it must spend a supply to attack, but that means it can spend an action to gather a supply and do multiple attacks still. Or if they get supplies from somewhere else, they can actually do like potentially 3 attacks. So I think that's pretty good. And then I think picked up one of the cheapest support armies, the 227th Highland Infantry Brigade, because it is pretty beefy with 5 manpower. And even though it's last, it does have the redirect ability, so it can spend a supply to potentially take a hit from somebody else. And I had 1 point left over, so decided to give it the Attack 4 limited skill. And so it has 2 times it can trigger this, and when they do, they get a bonus to their attack rolls. So I think that'll make them pretty useful. And so for the mission, I decided to select Probe, which I think is one of the shorter ones. The objective should be on the 3rd column, but I chose the Vital Pass objective, mainly because it adds 1 extra location, so I think that would make it interesting going through a couple different ones. Then the locations that came out I think are interesting. The village requires an experience to activate, and so that's mainly the reason why I picked the experienced skill. I start with an experience that I can use. Otherwise, it would be kind of almost pointless, because we wouldn't be able to activate it to get any experience. But it has an engineer objective that engineers can try to use if I need to regain any manpower. But then the second location is an enemy buildup. So I think this makes an interesting narrative. The British command sees that there's this vital pass that we need to claim to either stop supplies coming through or to help us with our offensive. And they see that the enemy is building up in the area, so they send these 3 groups to go and hopefully deal with it and get and claim the vital pass. Oh, okay, so I also have to get some action cards for the 129th here. So they start with 5. 4, 5. Okay, so we got a couple infantry attacks. Oh, fall back. And a flank attack. Okay, so they're useful abilities. The infantry attack gives a free attack, basically. The support move, I think I might hang on to that, because it would be able to move my support armies without having to spend an action. Although one of the issues with this army is that both of my support armies have only 1 for their movement, and so the village and enemy buildup require 2 and 3 respectively. So I'm going to need to spend some cards to get them there. So okay, so I think we can start the first turn, and the first thing I need to do is activate the village. So I'll spend an experience and one of my actions to activate it. And so then now we draw to see what hostiles there are. So we started with 70 resources. So okay, we got a 3, but we need to get a 2. All right, here, an infantry regiment. Seems to be a fairly common one. Okay, so he starts with 2 supplies, and he has the last keyword. So he'll be going later on. But he does have this defense 4, which can be really annoying. Because he can spend supplies to essentially negate some of our attacks. So I think, yeah, alright, I'll spend my second action to move my first, or the 129th, into the village. He has a movement of 2, so it's fine. I could try to use my engineering company, but I don't need the regain yet, so I'll do that. Okay, and so now we're done with the fast, or first, and so now we'll do the normal, which is my anti-tank regiment. Okay, so again, he needs a card, so I think I will discard this infantry attack. Would be nice to use, but more important things to use. Okay, so he'll move in, and then now he can perform an action. I think I'll try the flank attack. Play if you or any army just moved and are about to perform an attack. So it says any army in brackets, so that means I have to upgun it to get that ability. So I'll spend the experience I have on the 129th. So now I can use that card on the 91st, and they are about to attack. So I'll spend the action, and I need to spend a supply. But now I get this bonus, the +2, +1. So, okay, we're making the attack. We need a 7, but we get the +2. So, okay, so we easily penetrated their cover, but unfortunately, even with the +2, we don't get the hit, so our shot goes wide. It still causes a pin though, so I'm tempted to try to fire again. We'll take another supply, and we lose our flank attack, I guess. So now that they've realized that we're there, we kind of tried to sneak up on them. But we still get the +2, +1 because now they're pinned, so hopefully we can at least get a wound on them. Okay, a 7 and a 2. So the 2, well, with the +2, +1, we defeat their cover and we successfully hit them. So we can put a hit marker on them. Now, unfortunately, it won't affect them negatively until they're down to 1. So there's, oh shoot, again. They had the supplies. Okay, before that second attack, they would use their supplies to try to use their defense. And so if they roll a 4 or higher, they'll negate that attack, essentially. Okay, so a 6. So yeah, the pin didn't happen. But it was still a 7 and a 2 that I rolled, which is still good enough to do a hit on them. But then they'll spend their supplies to try to negate that one. So, well, I guess they just need a die 10. So. And a 9. So yeah, they managed to hide behind their defenses in the village enough to negate the attacks, essentially. One of the things I wanted to mention, I could have shot, the anti-tank gun can go up to a range of 1, so I could have shot from back here, But the village has this infrastructure of 2. Now, if we can clear out the hostiles from here, we'll get the infrastructure as supplies. So, but if you're shelling it from long range, you'll damage it and get less supplies. So that's why I wanted to move into the village. All right, so that was the normal move. So now we have last, and both our 227th and the German infantry move last, but that means our side gets to go first. I'll discard the support move. If they were faster, I'd probably use it more better, but having to discard cards to get them into the locations makes it a bit less efficient, I think. So I'll discard that, allow them to move into the village, takes an action, and so now they can use their action to shoot at them. So I think I'll actually spend one of their attacks to get the bonus. Could get +3, but I don't know. I think +2 is pretty good. Because they normally hit on 7s, so I just need a 5. Oh, nope. But the +1 on their bonus attack does turn the cover dice into a 2, so it does breach their cover and give them a pin. But unfortunately, that's about it. They don't have any more supplies, so they can't use their defense ability anymore. And oh, then they finally get to go. So on their card, it says they want to target mechanized units first, but we don't have any. So I think they'll just go after the highest resource point army, which is our 129th. So I think I'll actually have 227th use one of their supplies to do a redirect to them, just in case. You know, they're both have pretty good health, but I just want to make sure to keep this one fresh. So, all right. So they make their attack. They don't have any special bonuses. So. Okay. Yeah. So I decided to take it as they finish rolling. So they get a 3 and a 5. So they miss, but they subtract a pin. They get this column, but I think they cause a pin because they succeeded the cover. I think they cause a pin on the highland. So. Okay, so that is the end of the first turn. So we start the next one. So refresh all of our actions. Okay, I think I'll spend one of the 129th to draw and discard, or discard and draw. I will keep the 2 I have, and I'll discard. I'll draw 3 more just to see what I get. Okay, mostly it's refilling our supplies. Okay, but I can stop the timer for a turn. Okay, so nothing terribly useful. Okay, I'll use the infantry attack. Any infantry may perform an attack without spending an action, so he'll get his extra attack in now. Okay, so we get our +1. I want to upgun it. Okay, I think I will try spending an experience to upgun this to get +2. So I need a 6. Okay, I got a 6. The +2 +1, that becomes an 8, and my cover dice is easily enough to get past their cover, so I cause a hit. All right, and so I have my next, my last action use. So attack again. Okay, now I believe, I don't know how long this upgun lasts. If it's just for an attack or for the whole turn. But either way, it doesn't matter because my attack didn't hit, but it did cause a pin. Okay. So that's it for them. We're not going to activate the next one. So we're going to have the anti-tank regiment use an action to gain supplies, so they're up to 2 supplies. Then he'll use one of them to do an attack. All right, so he's attacking the pinned regiment, so he gets +2/+1, and I think that's about it. Oh, darn it. I missed the D10. So okay, with the pin bonus, we do get an 8, which is enough for a hit, and our cover defeats the cover, so we get another hit on them. So now they'll have the weaker attack, but he can, if he wants to, try to do one more attack. So yeah, he'll spend the last of his supplies, fire off again. Who gets +2? Okay, thankfully for that pin bonus, goes from 5 to 7 and then 1 to 2, so that's enough to, oh well, he has penetration 2, so yeah, he'll blow through whatever cover they're hiding behind. But the 5 becomes a 7, which is enough to do a hit on it, so that's the 3 hits we need to destroy it. It is a cost of 2, so anti-tank gun will get 2 experience from that, and we cleared it off. So put these back, remove that. So now we've cleared off the hostiles from the location, so we can actually get the infrastructure of 2. So what I'll do is I'll just give the anti-tank crew their supplies. So they get 2 supplies from that. That's it. So now we could... Okay, he'll spend an action to get rid of the pin. And then it doesn't cost an action to activate. So I think I'll have a Highland Brigade activate the enemy buildup. I'll spend one of the experience from anti-tank regiment. Flip this. Now this is the scary one because we can have up to 6 points of hostiles. So, okay, just an infantry force. That's actually an attachment. Oh, but an armor regiment. Okay, so yeah, this is pretty scary. Looks like we come across... Oh, yeah, an enemy buildup. Okay, an armor regiment with a force attachment. So, okay, so this is an extra thing that attaches onto the regiment. He gains the ability for this defense +5 and an extra hit if they spend a supply. Thankfully, they don't start with any supplies. So, okay, yeah, this is pretty much pointless. But still, they can cause some serious damage. Okay. So now, he has an attack. He can shoot into range 1. So I think I'll send in the Highland, the 227th Highland Brigade. Oh, I have to discard. Darn it. Okay, if I want to do that. Okay, so I'll discard 2 cards. Okay, to beef up his movement to 3, and then he'll move in. Now again, I don't know if he'll necessarily shoot the nearest. He might still go after my infantry brigade. But okay, we'll have to deal with that later. Okay, so we end the turn. There's no reinforcement. We end the turn. Now, the hostiles would normally get supplied at the end of the turn, but in this mission, they don't. So we just start the next turn. Can activate all our guys. Our 129th gets to go. Okay, I'll spend an action, discard and draw. So I'll discard fallback because I don't think I'll necessarily want that. 1, oh jeez, 2, 3, 4, draw back up to 5, and I get more fallback. So I can spend this skill, General Advance, add 1 to your army movement values this turn. If I guess I could spend it from the anti-tank regiment, yeah. So he'll spend an experience to upgun this so that all of my guys, so it'll help the anti-tank group, and get the 129th up to a movement of 3. So he can move. So he'll have to spend an action to move. Won't be able to do anything. Actually could have the... No, but he's can't... has a hard time hitting from range. Or at least he gets a penalty. So I want to move him in here so that he can get the best shots on that armor regiment. So okay, he spent one action to move. I have to discard one more card still. I'll discard the fallback. Won't be needing that hopefully. But now he can start attacking. So he'll spend an action to attack. Costs a supply. But now he gets +3 plus 2 against armor. So here goes. Okay, unfortunately it only rolled a 2, so even with the bonus it doesn't penetrate, and actually even the round doesn't penetrate the cover, and armor is just that strong. So actually I wasn't able to even put a pin on it. So alright, do another attack, spending his last of his supplies. Hopefully he can at least hit it. Okay. So again we missed, but our cover dice with the +2 does actually equal his armor. So we do get a pin on it. Unfortunately, he can remove those pins. Okay, now it's we're in the normal phase, which is where he acts. Yeah, so he'll get to go. He wants to shoot the lowest RP armor, but we don't have any, so I think again he goes after the highest RP army. The 227th will again use their supply to redirect to themselves. Okay, so let's see. 7 and 1. Okay, he has a penetration of 4, so yeah, no matter what. And the 7 does 1 hit. So, okay. Fortunately, we can't do anything about that. We don't have any defense or whatever. So now it's down to 4. Oh yeah, and so he gets a second shot. So I think it'll go against the highest RP, and we don't have any supplies to redirect, so it'll go against the 129th. Okay. Okay, but this again does succeed on our pin. I think I'll try to use the defense. So it actually missed. So it does this miss -1 pin, so he actually loses the pin. But since the cover exceeded ours, we would normally take a pin, so I'm going to use the defense 8+, and we roll a 10, so we can actually ignore the pin. So thankfully. But now it's going to the last phase, so we're down back to our Highland infantry. They're going to use the last of their attack bonus here, and do I want to upgun it? Yeah, I think I have to. I'll spend the XP from them to upgun this to +3 plus 2. Hopefully they can get a pin on it. I'm not expecting a hit, but you never know. Okay, so with +3 plus 2, they get a 10-6. Not enough to breach their cover, but it does get a pin on them again. So hopefully next turn. Okay, oh man. Now we're not going to retain any cards. Reinforcement they don't have, and they don't get any supplies. So now we would normally advance the turn counter, but I'm going to use double time and expend 2 of my supplies to essentially prevent the turn counter from moving. So it'll give us an extra turn. But yeah, so that's the end of our turn. Ooh. Oh shoot, Oh, they could have done another action or attack. Yeah, so I should roll. They do get 2 attacks. They don't get the attack bonus. Again. But they could still try to get a pin on it. Okay, so they're actually pretty good shots. Again, we did hit them with the 7, and it could have been a good pin number if we'd have gotten a couple bonuses, but unfortunately didn't damage them again. But we did get another pin on it, so hopefully starting this turn we can actually do some stuff. Okay, again, I think I'll discard and draw. I'll keep the soak it off just in case we get a bunch of pins. Oh, double time. Oh, hammer and anvil I don't need. 4, so I draw back up to 5. Rear area artillery. Oh, so yeah, I got another double time cost, but the cost is reinforcements, so don't. Well, maybe if I can clear out this tank. Okay, so we are going to... Okay, so I think I'll use my last supply. To use this card I just drew, Rear Area Artillery. So I pay 1 supply to play this card. Attack a hostile card within range 2 of your rearmost army. Yeah, they're right here. No XP. I could retain it if I had a bunch of XP, but okay, so we got to roll 5+. I don't know if the pins add to that. I'm going to default to no. Okay. Okay, just checking the book, it kind of makes it kind of sounds like pins would attack to any attack, even one caused by a card. So alright, I will add the pins to this. So it's +4 +2, so this would be a 7 and a 5. So unfortunately, okay, it hits it, but does not penetrate it. So I think it adds another pin. Okay, so I hope that's how you do it. I guess now he could make an attack. So again, he still has his +1 from his attack skill. So with +6 +3, we're getting better at pinning it down. Okay, all right. So yes, with +6 +3, he actually gets an 8, 9. So he does actually penetrate, do damage to it. So it knocks it down to this. Okay, and so we move on to the normal phase, and so we'll have to have this guy gather a supply, because he needs that to attack, and then he will attack now. Okay, so he spends that supply. Okay, we got +6 +3, and then he has +3 +2, so this is 9, 5, 9 +5, so I'm hoping. Okay, yeah, 6, 5 becomes 15, 10, which is more than enough to destroy that armor regiment. So, okay, so the anti-tank actually gets a bunch of experience. 5. I guess technically this should add in, but considering he didn't do anything, I'm happy enough just to ignore it. Yeah, if he had supplies, he would make this so much worse. Okay, we managed to get rid of the armor and armor regiment there that was building up. So he does have one more action. Well, he can activate this. And so we have to see what shows up here. It's only a 1, so even 2s won't be able to show up there. So I think we're going to go through most of the hostiles, I think. Okay, engineering group. Okay, going to be a bit annoying because they're just sitting there and increasing the cost at the end or the start of each turn. So he'll spend his last action to move in. Won't be able to attack or anything. I made the mistake before of moving in the anti-tank regiment without support. But this time at least I have the Highland Brigade here. So going to the last, have them activate. They can move into the 1 without spending any cost. But then he can do his last action to try to shoot that fellow. Okay, so basically he needs a 7 and a 2 to just take him out. He only has 1 wound. Nope. But we do successfully suppress him. That's not going to necessarily help my other guys have to try to get in, but they can expend a bunch of action cards. So, all right, that's the end of the turn, I believe. So no supply, no reinforcements. Okay, so we're down to turn 2. Now he will increase the cost, so I'll just add a token there, add 2. But we just have, oh, okay, we've got to refresh all of our actions. Okay, we just have to get this guy in, so he'll do an action to move, and he needs 3, so he only needs to discard 1. Discard hammer and anvil, because we can't use that. So and then he'll move in, and he has 1 more action, so he can expend to take a shot. Now he is pinned, so he gets +2/+1, so pretty much we'll beat his cover. I just need to roll good enough to hit him. Okay, a 10. 1's barely. But thankfully for the pin, it becomes 12/2, so it's enough to get a hit on him and take him out. So he gets 1 experience from doing that. Going off a bunch of engineers. And I believe that is that. We managed to get to the vital pass and hold it. Well, before the engineers could, I don't know, maybe they were trying to dynamite it closed or something, because they kept increasing the entrance cost. So yeah, it seemed like they're trying to close it shut. But okay, so that was a fairly quick game of Warfighter War, and I think I'm quite enjoying it. The few games I've played of it so far. I want to try to get some more elaborate missions going. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll join me for the next time. So I'll say thank you and goodbye.